Hello and welcome to another episode of the Roach Koach podcast, the new metal podcast you deserve.
There it is. Roach Koach podcast.
A very special episode of Roach Koach today, Matt, as we have an interview coming up.
Yep.
With your friend and now mine, Patrick Ryan. We've talked about him on the show in the past. He has the Korn tattoos of fame.
Yes.
He has the bitch tattooed on his leg. And if you have the bitch tattooed on your leg, we are going to say, will you sit down with us to chat about it?
Exactly.
So, coming up in the episode, we will be talking with Patrick. We'll talk about his Korn tattoos, his thoughts on Korn, how he incorporates Korn into his work, and so much more. But before we get to that, Matt, it was announced this week that the third edition of Sick New World has been announced, which means we have to talk about who's festin'.
Who's festing?
Matt, this is your favorite segment on the show.
Oh, yeah.
You love it. And Matt, we've got to talk about this because when Sick New World was first announced, it was announced as basically, without saying it, but being very clear, it was a new metal festival.
Correct.
And when it was announced, I think we all agreed and our listeners agreed, the coach did it. We did.
We should have cashed in right there.
We
Just
should
hung up the microphones.
Absolutely, because we're like, new metal has never been more back. New metal is here. Sick New World.
All downhill from here.
Absolutely. Well, here we are now. This is the third iteration of Sick New World. It's been announced, and things done changed, Matt.
They've shaken it up a little.
All right, so let's just run through this. It's going to take place Saturday, April 12th, 2025, Las Vegas Festival Fairgrounds.
So get it in before you submit your taxes as a business expense.
Absolutely. Say, listen, I'm going to go to the desert to see Exodus and Lacuna Coil, and I got to write it off. All right?
I have to write it off.
Have to write it off. Okay. So in the past, people who have headlined have been Slipknot,
New Metal AF.
Korn,
New Metal AF.
Deftones.
New Metal AF.
This year, our headliners are Metallica,
Doing Saint Anger cover to cover.
and Linkin Park.
Doing the first album cover to cover. No, not at all.
Not at all. Interesting twist there. Now, the Linkin Park of it all, that makes sense since they're back. I will say, we haven't talked about it too much, but the feedback on our episode that we did talking about all the interesting developments in the Linkin Park world,
Correct.
wonderfully received. Everyone agreed with us. They were very kind and spoke softly and nicely.
I will say that if they watched what we said, we just laid out points and people agreed with those.
Yeah.
When you just looked at a title and started typing,
It was a little surprising to see that people on the internet would not watch the video or listen to the podcast about the actual topic, but just assumed they knew what we had said based off the title or a thumbnail. I was a little surprised, Matt. I was a little surprised that people did not take the moment to
some
actually
people just
do
read
the
a
research.
title, broke a bottle on a table, and were like, I'm here, fight me.
Yes, that really was the vibe. A lot of
The
broken
YouTube
bottles.
streets went crazy.
Yeah. So we just want to let everybody know. You know what? It doesn't
We
matter.
hope
what
you're
this-
okay.
We hope you're okay, but we know you're not listening. So
That's right.
Yeah, we know you're strictly mad, and there's no time when you're full of that much vitriol. There's no time to hit play.
No.
There's only time to react.
We said something about Linkin Park. How dare we?
How dare you? So, which also means then I guess that all of the people that I was complaining weren't energetic enough at the Linkin Park unveiling didn't get my note.
Yeah,
Which,
to step it up.
step it up. I mean, their energy's in the wrong place. It's on the keyboard when it should be in them
It
streets.
should be in that concert in that warehouse.
Absolutely. All right, so Metallica, Linkin Park to start. Linkin Park, you can argue absolutely. Metallica, absolutely not.
Right.
Queens of the Stone Age, AFI, Evanescence.
Okay. Evanescence, truly one of the most polarizing bands from our show's history.
Mm-hmm.
And also the love for Evanescence when we were at Louisville Loves New Metal, when they played Evanescence, the energy lifted.
People love Evanescence.
People love Evanescence.
So this is a Money in the Bank move. Now, I will say the fact that AFI is equal line with Evanescence is wild to me. I don't know.
You say that, but it's like,
Matt, just go online and look at those sales numbers.
I understand.
AFI have not had a hit in a while.
Well, haven't they stopped making records?
No.
What?
That's the thing. Matt, you think they've stopped. They've never stopped making records.
All I know is it feels like they've been keeping Hot Topic in business ever since they stopped selling Boondock Saints hoodies.
I can't believe they stopped selling Boondock Saints hoodies.
It breaks my heart in half.
Insane.
I mean, how can I have the two brothers with the guns pointing at my Johnson? What a hoodie.
What a hoodie. So, yeah, right away. So, I mean, this list is a real mixed bag of just bands.
So for Queens of the Stone Age, they already kind of have a bad look going on. A lot of substantiated stuff going on there. Why not throw Dave Grohl behind the drum kit and just make it the most problematic set that they possibly can?
Are they going to bring Nick Oliveri back?
Yep, bring Nick back.
Oh.
Just make it Queens of the Stone Age a walking nightmare.
I got to tell you though, Matt, if you had Nick Oliveri back with Josh and Dave behind the drums,
I would want to see it.
That's the songs for the death lineup, Matt. So I think everyone, honestly, we all holding our nose for that one, baby. We're like, they about to do Sky is Falling. I got no problems. I doubt they're going to do that, though.
Truly rest in peace.
To who?
The other singer on songs.
Oh, shit. Mark Lanigan, you're right.
Yeah,
I was like,
Mark
wait,
Lanigan.
did something happen since we started recording?
No, rest in peace, Mark Lanigan.
Mark Lanigan, a true legend. Ministry, 311, The Sisters of Mercy, Gojira, Acid Bath reuniting after 30 years. That run right there. What's going on?
Okay, Ministry totally makes sense.
Yes.
311, people love 311.
We got some messages about this. They were like, 311. I was like, how dare you even say their name to me? Why would you do that to me?
Ministry at this point as an entity, I've gone back after we did the Ministry episode for Christmases like 4 years ago at this point.
Many years ago.
It got pointed out to me that, hey, they've actually been making great music again. You stopped at Filth Pig, you shouldn't have. And I've gone back. Ministry's a real fucking deal. Like,
there you go.
They keep doing it. 311, I would be at any other stage other than that. But their placement does make sense. They can sell out cruises, Lauren.
I hadn't thought of that.
The Sisters of Mercy right here is odd, though.
Well, they were there last year, though.
It's just they're elder statesmen of the goth scene. And if Andrew Eldridge is up there doing his damn thing, amazing. And then the band of which we both got a little bit of pushback on, Gojira, is played.
Listen, if you love astronaut animation, if you love light shows, if you love guys saying, sure, we're here, jeans and t-shirt, no big deal, then they're your band, all right?
When we put up the Korn review and we talked about Gojira and then we pulled out that album, I love that the first comment I read was like, probably the album that is most universally loved across all metal fans, and you guys bag on it. I'm like, classic Coach. That's what we're here for.
Listen, guys, we were just talking about people not doing their research, not listening to the episode. We will certainly not listen to the Gojira album.
I've listened to it since.
How is it?
Not for me, but I see what he's saying. It's quite good and it was fine. I didn't like it. It was fine. Keep walking it back.
All right.
It clearly wasn't for me.
All right, Matt. Next line. We've got, I don't know, this is the letter G. I don't know what to make of this.
Is
it's
this?
a lowercase G, but with a little dot on top of it.
All right. I'm going to do a little.
Matt's going to look that up while I continue to run through this list. Flaming Lips, Darren Malakian, and Scars on Broadway. They had to do that so people knew what Scars on Broadway is. Down, 3 Days Grace, 2X. I don't know what that means. Cannibal Corpse, Meshuggah, Tomahawk, Melvin's, Cradle of Filth. Okay. My comment on that is Flaming Lips. What are we doing here? Your balloons are going to get popped. Very strange. Also, if they're doing, here's the thing. As we know from the previous Sick New World situation with these rotating stages, you're in, you're out, you're in, you're out. Flaming Lips can't be on one of those stages. Their whole show is this elaborate, streamers and everything. I don't know how they're going to fit into a 25-minute stage show unless they get 35 minutes. I don't know. This one, maybe this is stripped down lips. Strip lips.
Stripped lips.
Stripped lips. I don't know why it's called 3 Days Grace 2X. I don't know what that means. Are they adding like another? Is 3 Days Grace plus extra grace? I don't know what this is. As Matt continues to look up the letter G.
Listen, you threw out the challenge of pile of pillows last year. Now I'm stuck on this G.
Well, yeah, good luck going into Google and just typing the letter G.
I'm having a great time. I'm clearly not distracted at all.
As Matt continues to Google the letter G, I will continue to work through this list. Testament, Mastodon, Refused, Filter. Thank you, Filter. Thank you for being there. This is going to, as Matt does this Google image search and tries to find this, I just want to mention to everybody that there has been a tour that's been announced for the spring of 2025 in which Jerry Cantrell will be touring his new solo album that's called I Want Blood, and Filter is opening. I want to tell you all that I am screaming, crying, vomiting. I don't know what to make of this. Now, my big problem is that there's 2 dates. Here's the thing. I always complain on the show. All I ask of bands is to do a show near my house. But I also like to put a caveat. Do it on a Friday or a Saturday. Jerry Cantrell got with Filter and said, listen, Lauren's going to want to come to this. Let's do a show on a Sunday and a show on a fucking Wednesday. Let's make it as difficult as possible. I'll tell you guys right now, somehow, some way, both of these dates seem slightly unworkable for me, but I'm not giving up. I'm not giving up, but I am furious. Jerry Cantrell, Filter. Yeah. Anyway, back to Sick New World. Matt, you got a lot of G's on your tablet there, buddy.
I hate you. I hate
All right.
you so much.
Matt's looking up the letter G. Who's playing Sick New World? They booked it. How did they? What's their email? G at gmail.com. What if it's the letter G from Sesame Street? That's wild. It's higher. The letter G higher on the poster than Mastodon. Just pointing this out. Next line, we've got Terror. I can't read whatever that is. Yeah, then we get the band X, Under Oath, Poison the Well, The Hives, Mudvayne, Carcass, Exodus, Kitty, Machine Head. What are the nice boys in The Hives doing next to Mudvayne?
I don't
What's
know.
happening here? But I'm sure it'll be a fine time. Arch Enemy. I got to squint. Twin Tribes. Okay. Quicksand, Sponge, Duran Gray, Static X, Ura. What are the nice boys in Quicksand doing there?
I don't know.
What's happening here? Stabbing Westward. Okay, here's another one for you, Matt. This is just an image of a guy standing in a circle. You find that? He's playing. I ain't making that up. That's literally a dude with his arms outstretched. That could be Stone Cold Steve Austin for all I know. All right, Death Clock, Orgy, Lacuna Coil, The Birthday Massacre, Nuovo Testamento, Scowl, Dope, Show Me the Body, Amira Elteki, Lebanon Hanover, Napalm Death, 7 Hours After Violet, Vision Video. That's the lineup. Now,
Glassjaw.
What?
Holy.
That letter G is Glassjaw.
Yes.
Wow. Okay. We cracked the code. He cracked the code. Listen, Matt. Anyone who watches the video of this is going to see you sweating
Fucking
like a goddamn pig.
I have not commented. You read 23 lines of this dumb festival. I missed it because I've been stuck at G. Yeah, that's Glassjaw.
All right. Well, Glassjaw's going to be there. I still think their font is. I think the letter G is still too big in comparison to Mastodon. This does not feel like it has any personality anymore, Matt. I feel like the personality.
It doesn't have a
gone.
point of view. It's now just turned into festival.
Yeah, it's just like, heavy bands, but also Quicksand's going to be there.
And the Hives are going to be.
The Hives are going to be there. The Hives and Under Oath. The Hives are next to Carcass. Wild.
Same line as Kitty, who put out a ripper this year.
As we've talked about, a ripper indeed. This is a true baffling one. I'm going to say it, like in the past, I've had like that pang of like, shit, I'm not going, you know?
Yeah.
I don't really have it with this one. But you know what though, Matt?
What's happening?
As we know, a Sick New World announcement means that also you're going to have multiple options on how to buy tickets.
That's correct.
Matt. We have general admission plus, VIP, and platinum. And everybody knows, if you're a Roach Koach, long time, you know that going through the ticket options is a crucial aspect
crucial aspect
of the Sick New World
Yeah,
experience.
if reading a whole bunch of bands that you could read wasn't bad enough, get ready.
All right, Matt. So general admission starts at $399 American.
How?
This is what it gets you, Matt. It gets you performances all day on multiple stages at Las Vegas Festival Grounds. Food choices from regional and local vendors, bars, concessions, official band merch, festival merch, free water stations, and more. That's what you get for $399.
All right, so it's just a standard ticket.
Standard tick. GA Plus. Those start at $550
Okay.
USD. Performances all day on multiple stages. Access to exclusive GA Plus lounge featuring shaded seating and a comfortable space to unwind between sets. This is a new feature this year.
Oh, that's a new feature.
You have never been given an option to unwind between sets.
No. It's, hey, go over there. Get away from this.
Absolutely. After seeing Body Count, you had nowhere to go and unwind. Nowhere to go. But this year, you can go see Quicksand and maybe Sponge, and then you can say, gotta unwind. If you
in a world of human rights.
You're gonna
I need a minute.
You're gonna need a minute. If you GA Plus, you now have shaded seating to unwind.
Just let it go.
Let it go. Also options here. Food choices from regional and local vendors, bars, concessions, official band merch, free water stations, air conditioned restrooms.
There it is.
There it is. GA Plus, baby. They knew. Dedicated entry line at main entrance. You got a special entrance. Dedicated, this is another new feature this year. Dedicated lockers available for rent by GA Plus ticket holders in a more centralized location. Remember this. Remember this detail. I have pre-read all these features, and I was so excited to talk about it. I was more excited about this than any of these fucking bands.
The picture of a man is a band called Rendezvous that I've never heard of before in my life.
Okay, well, you can, after seeing Rendezvous, you can go to, if you're GA Plus, you can go to a shaded seated area and unwind and turn to everybody else and go, what did we just fucking see? All right, so that's what you get for $550.
Wait, their logo was just a man?
Their logo is just a man with his arms outstretched, going for a hug.
They're from Paris, France, baby.
Wait, Matt, is that saying, are they playing Hamtramck? Is that what I just saw?
I think so.
Oh, wow. All right.
Here we go. Can we get
Matt,
email me later.
Matt, are you able? Matt, did you just try to go to Wikipedia and ask for a donation? You hit the wrong button. Matt, just hide the appeals for a week. There you go.
Rendezvous was formed in 2012 by Francis Malari and Elliot Bouthold. A few months later, they added, who cares, 2014, 2016, 2018. I guess so.
All right. There you go. They're playing. All right, Matt. So here we are. I'm going to be honest. GA Plus, you've got air-conditioned bathrooms, you have a place to unwind, and you have dedicated lockers in a more centralized location.
More centralized.
More centralized. Don't know exactly what that means, but it gives me an idea. All right. VIP.
All right.
Starting at $650.
Okay.
All right.
So grab your friends, buy 10.
Absolutely. Performances all day, multiple stages.
Of course.
Access to exclusive VIP lounge.
Yep.
Featuring shaded seating and premium space to relax and recharge.
Ooh,
You ain't unwinding. You VIP, baby. It's time to relax and then build yourself back up to head back out there. Because who knows? Queens of Stone Age might be doing a fucking manic set. Every single canceled person you ever heard of's out there.
Why is Kevin Spacey doing the worm across the Queens of the Stone Age?
Why is Kevin Spacey out there with their, and you're like, I don't know how I feel about this, but they
Louis
are,
C.K. just did a tight 5.
but they're doing go with the flow. Grohl's got the sticks. I'm fucking ready. All right.
Matt Lauer just did a news report
What is happening? But it doesn't matter. They're doing Song for the Dead.
cover to cover.
It's nuts. All right. Preferred viewing area by main stage. So you've just recharged your body.
Yep.
And now you're going to preferred viewing
Of the main stage.
of the main stage. So you have a perfect view of the hologram of Jeffrey Epstein.
For the Queens of the Stone Age set.
All right. Food choices by regional and local vendors, bars, concessions. Yes. Air-conditioned restrooms. Dedicated entry line and main entrance. You got it. Charging stations.
Gotta charge. Where am I going to charge this phone?
Let me tell
right
you.
here, baby.
That's the problem you didn't think about if you just got GA Plus. You're unwinding, you're checking your phone, and you're like, oh, this battery's getting low. You look around, there's nowhere to charge.
Nowhere to charge.
VIPs got them charging stations. Dedicated merch tent for festival merch.
You know what? If that is also air conditioned and or covered, worth it.
Worth it.
Could do that $400 bump.
Okay. Dedicated lockers available for rent by VIP ticket holders in close proximity to main stage. Not centralized location, close proximity. That means you bring your backpack. I don't want to lug this thing around. Especially if
this thing is full of sunscreen.
It's full of sunscreen.
It's like 100% sunscreen.
I can hear Queens of the Stone Age doing Hanging Tree. I got to get out of there.
I gotta
get over there. All right, so
thank God I'm right by the stage.
Absolutely. Okay, so that's VIP. Pretty impressive. Air-conditioned bathrooms, absolutely, but charging stations. That's all right. And also a place to relax and recharge.
Recharging.
I love it. Okay. Platinum. Starts at $1,800 a tick.
What do they mean starts at? Could it go higher?
I guess so. I guess maybe once you get into it, they probably just start throwing other things at you.
Meet and greets.
Yeah. I don't even want to go there. Access to exclusive Platinum Lounge featuring shaded seating and premium space to relax and recharge. Okay. All right. So we're relaxing and recharging. I love how, like, if you're VIP or Platinum, you're not unwinding like a fucking loser. You're recharging.
You can laugh at the pores when you're sitting in your $1,800 Platinum seats.
Premium viewing area by the main stage. That's different from preferred.
This is premium.
Premium. So I assume this means you're behind the kit with Dave.
Yeah,
that's
100%.
The only. Yeah, absolutely. I like how we're just assuming he's there.
Yeah, he's 100% there.
He's there.
He's got to get out of the house.
He's got to get.
He's got to get his dick wet. You know what I mean?
Oh my God.
Too much? Oh, that's too much.
That's too much.
Okay.
All-inclusive beer, wine, cocktails, and non-alcoholic beverages within the Platinum Lounge. All-inclusive. That means you are in the premium viewing area and you are roasted and toasted. You are sloshing about.
Let's figure this out. If $15 a beer, right? $15 a beer.
Sure.
To make them pay, all you have to do is drink 100 beers. Are you up for the challenge?
You're just over there. You're missing every band. You're like, I got to justify this pick.
Another one. I gotta relax. I gotta recharge, and I gotta drink 100 beers.
Oh my God! Complimentary curated bites and hors d'oeuvres.
Oh,
curated.
Can you imagine a Sisters of Mercy smash burger?
Oh, Matt, I just love the idea of Show Me the Body saying, "These are some great pigs in a blanket. You've got to try these. These are incredible."
Oh, have you had this tuna tartare? Says the guitarist from Kitty.
Guitarist from Kitty thought this was top notch. But if you really want to have something great, this is a special pickled beet.
Ooh.
Picked out by the members of Carcass. They loved it, and they want you to try it.
311's walking nachos are phenomenal.
This is an impossible burrito. It is recommended by all the members of Under Oath.
But there it is.
They really enjoyed it.
Here's an empty. Here's calamari in a whalebone from Gojira.
They really liked it. And then the Melvins, it's just a cup of water. They didn't want to take part in it.
They were like, no, thank you.
No interest. Air-conditioned restrooms.
Of course.
Commemorative Sick New World Platinum VIP laminate.
Oh, I better get that laminate.
Premium festival gift. What does this fucking mean?
What
What does this mean?
a premium festival.
Premium festival gift. They're still figuring it out.
Hoodie, T-shirt.
I would say I paid $1,800. I would like both a hoodie and a T-shirt, if you don't mind.
Hoodie, T-shirt, program. What?
Temporary
Keychain.
Keychain, temporary tattoos.
Just like the
Matt, Lincoln Park's there. Oversized poster.
oversized poster.
Gotta have an oversized poster. That's my guess.
It's just a Subway poster of Sick New World.
Yeah. I hope it's actually one from a Subway. Like it has the Subway logo at the top.
Yep, and then it just has a dong drawn on it.
Absolutely. Complimentary private locker rentals with charging capabilities. That means $1,800.
$1,800. You roll up.
I want to go out and see the show, but my phone's at 1%. But I can't just leave it hanging here. I don't know everybody here. I don't need somebody stealing my phone.
No.
I don't need somebody hacking my code, going in. But if I've got a complimentary locker with charging capabilities inside
the locker?
Wow.
Now I can lock up my phone, let it charge, and I can see charges being drawn on a member of Queens of the Stone Age while they're performing.
Okay, we're not done though. This is $1,800. $1,800.
I will say, for these bullet points, I'm glad they keep going for $1,800.
Absolutely. Dedicated festival merch pop-up within the Platinum Lounge.
Okay, that is that air-conditioned that I was talking about.
This is what it is. You're in the lounge. You're recharging, both literally yourself
physically
and physically charging your phone.
And spiritually, the smooth sounds.
Absolutely. Well, also, you're having this incredible hors d'oeuvres curated,
by the bands.
by Cannibal Corpse.
Yep.
And
just all tartar.
All tartars. And then you're like, oh, let me take a look. Let me look at this little merch that just popped up here.
Sweet merch.
Sweet merch. Transportation between stages.
Okay. Golf carts.
Golf carts. You walk out, you go, sir, please get me to the letter G.
I need to see the letter G so bad. You mean Glassjaw? No.
The letter G. The letter G. I need to go there. Platinum VIP concierge team. People around you at your beck and call. Could you put this in my locker? I heard there's some really tasty stuff on the other side over there. Can you grab it for me? Have Queens of the Stone Age been fully arraigned yet, or will they still be completing the set?
I hope I get to hear Go With the Flow before that happens.
Listen, are they doing anything from Lullabies to Paralyze? Can you find that out for me? Also, can they cross international waters with these churches?
Allegedly.
Dedicated private entrance into the festival. You will be able to enter this festival
at your leisure.
At your leisure. It's a private entrance.
Just for you.
I mean, you dropped $1,800, so God, I hope so.
I hope so, kind of.
Jesus, you kind of got a big mark on you. They know you're rolling in it.
Yeah, I see somebody walking in that premium VIP platinum. I'm just like,
I'm taking them down.
See you in the pit.
Yeah. Shared VIP viewing at secondary stages. So what they're letting you know here is that you will be able to see the secondary stages from a VIP situation, but you will have to share it
with other VIPs.
With other motherfuckers. I hope that's okay.
They aren't as VIP as you because you're platinum.
You're platinum, but they're there. They've spent a little bit more money. Not as much as you, but they spent a little bit more.
Nobody spent more than you.
Nobody.
That's why you get these premium
You just entered privately. You have a concierge driving your ass around. Is that the hives I hear? That away.
to the hives. I hope they do hope to say I told you so.
I hope so. All of the perks of regular VIP ticket holders and access to all GA areas. Excludes GA plus areas. Interesting twist there. I've just dropped $1,800. I can go where the VIP goes. I can go where the GA goes. I can't go to GA plus.
That's just for them, baby.
interesting change. The GA Plus having an area that GA Plus cannot be bothered by Platinum. Did something happen last year? Did Platinum bully the GA Plus?
I think so.
Wow.
That's what it screams to me. It screams to me class warfare.
This all is class warfare, 100%. I mean, I'm just imagining the type of person I would become if I'm sitting in an air-conditioned bathroom in between sets of Lacuna Coil and fucking, I don't know, Static X. Just, I'm being hand-fed just incredible foods by my concierge. I'm the laziest I've ever been. My phone...
fully charged.
100% in the middle of the fucking desert because I got a private fucking locker.
Your energy never higher.
Honestly, I feel mad with power and I haven't paid a dime right now.
You're 50 beers deep.
Oh, I'm so wasted. And now, what's that? No one knows is playing? I'm untenable. I'm gonna knock down everyone in GA Plus.
I'm untenable.
I can't be trusted.
No, you're a loose cannon.
I'm out of control at this point.
You're on stage with Queen of the Stone.
I'm on stage. I was like, arrest me too. I want to go to jail with my boys. It's all or nothing.
This is a really hard statement.
It's very troubling.
These are my boys.
Well, Matt, I got to say, if you have the $1,800 for the Platinum, it will be worth it.
It'll be worth it.
But also you will
become a monster.
You will. This is like a rise and fall situation. If you are somebody who's been, Lauren, Matt, I've been working on rebuilding my life, rebuilding my credit, and I've really put things together, and I'm sitting on a nice little nest egg, and I know I could drop it. I know I could afford this. I'm there. Or maybe you're somebody who's like, I don't know, day trader, something like that.
Right.
More affluent, and you're like, I can do this. If you are not a monster, when you buy this Platinum package, you
become one.
You will become one without a doubt. That is the honestly, the premium festival gift. You become a monster.
Right. It's the gift of Dorian Gray.
Yes. You will get a picture of yourself and you'll be like, this picture looks a little fucked up of me. And it's like, yeah. That's inside.
Yep. That's you inside.
That's in you inside.
Oh, Sick New World. You've done it again.
You've done it again, Sick New World. So by the time this goes up, tickets will have already gone on sale and they will almost
sold out.
Sold out 100%. Absolutely. So you can definitely sign up for the Waitlist, which is real. I signed up for it initially way back in the day.
Really?
Yeah. And so I get the texts.
Okay.
Like I found out about this from a text on my phone. It was like Sick New World lineup announced. I was like, what? Oh, okay. So the waitlist is real. I've gotten a text every year that they always do release some tickets at the end. I don't know if their Platinum turn you into a Monstrasso situation, but a lot to think about. They've really upgraded it. I mean, private lockers. Here's the thing. I don't know how are they going to top this next year. Like, what are they going to add? I mean, we got air-conditioned bathroom. The only thing, I think we've talked about this, is an air-conditioned bathroom with a view of the stage. That is the step.
That's the step.
That's the step. But I don't know if they're going to do that. Didn't Kiss play one year? Am I crazy?
I think you're crazy.
Okay. All right. I don't know why that popped in my head. I had this thought in my head of like, we made a joke about taking a shit and watching Kiss. I don't know.
Maybe they did. I don't know.
They did. Who knows? There you go.
That I won't check. I'll spend 20 minutes trying to find.
Matt is not going to check, and that's fine. Sick New World, Saturday, April 12th, 2025. It's just a bunch of bands this time, and you might become a monster. Matt, we had a wonderful conversation.
We sure did.
With Patrick Ryan.
Yep.
And you know what? Let's take a listen to it now.
We are here with Patrick Ryan.
Yes.
Patrick, you are a fitness guru. You are a man about town. And most importantly, you are Korn superfan #1. Correct on all of those counts?
I'd say it's relatively accurate. Yeah, I don't know if I'm the #1 Korn fan, but there's a lot of us out there. So I would say in that regard, I'm probably one of many.
One of many. Perfect. Thanks for joining us today on the Coach. I know you and Matt had met.
So let me set this up.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
This is wild.
Mhm.
We met at a conference thrown by Gary Vaynerchuk, from an NFT that I bought 3 years ago. When everybody was into NFTs. I bought one. Gary V was like, I'm going to do a conference. It's going to be a mega conference. Going to do it 3 years in a row. Before we left, we had an episode with our former co-host, Jenny, and she was talking about small talk, and she was reading a book on small talk because my tendency is to go too deep too fast. I never keep it light. I'm always just, so tell me about your childhood trauma. Like, that's me. Too much.
Too fast.
Way too fast. So
Yes.
I'm like, I'm going to keep it light. I'm going to keep it bright. I'm going to keep it quick. And it's the last day of the conference. We are at a concert for T-Pain of all artists.
Yes.
Yep.
And I've talked to a few people. I've kept it light. I've kept it bright. But I see Patrick, and Patrick's wearing a tank top, and he's got a sleeve of Korn tattoos. Different albums. We're talking Follow the Leader. We're talking Issues. And I see those Untouchables. I see that across the room. And I go, if I don't talk to this guy,
If I don't go deep with this guy,
if I don't immediately submerge myself into this relationship, something's wrong with me.
So you made this connection. I love it.
So and he's wearing a Korn hat.
There it is.
So I'm like, I have to. So I walk across the whole amphitheater before he goes in. His lovely wife and him are together, and I go, I have a new metal podcast.
Just like that. Perfect.
Just, hi, I have a new metal podcast. I love your tattoos. Which I would say at a business conference prior to seeing T-Pain, wild dichotomy.
You're cool, man.
Absolutely. Patrick, I wanted to know right off the bat. So I know your Korn tattoos heavily discussed. I know they have been featured in the Korn had a documentary about it. I guess my question for you is, when you started getting these tattoos, I'm assuming the original intention was just as a fan, and then it kind of grew from there?
Yeah. Like this is a very, I guess there's multiple layers to this whole tattoo experience, because at no point did I ever get the tattoo with any bit of intention of, hey, I want to have recognition around this tattoo. It was very much coming from a place of, wow, this music and their music has really helped me, as well as thousands, if not millions of other people, navigate really difficult times and seasons and years of their lives. And I was just like, you know what? I think I'm ready to, I don't know how else to put it. I guess I'm ready to put this on my body in a way that fits me, right? And in a way that tells a story, not for other people, but in the event. So going to kind of Matt's point, him joking about going deep too fast with a lot of people, I kind of resonate with that, where it's okay, the right people will see the tattoo at the right time, and they'll ask me about it. And at that point, I truly believe that the tattoos that I have on my body are an opportunity to tell a story. And for those that are willing to hold the space for it, I'm happy to share with them what was going on in my life. So I partnered with my friend and local tattoo artist, Ben Villamontes, here in Albuquerque, New Mexico, on the design. I was just like, dude, these are my 3 favorite albums. Here's the cover art. How do we create a world that encapsulates that art and that energy, along with my favorite song, which is Thoughtless, that I have written on the inside of my
look at
arm.
that.
I was like, how do we put all this together? And he helped me. It was several sessions, a lot of time to get that put together. And then just for the heck of it, obviously I was attending a lot of Korn shows whenever they would come through Albuquerque. At the time, they were coming to Albuquerque at least once a year. And they played a show at Isleta Amphitheater up here in Albuquerque. And I had paid for a meet and greet at the time. And this was solely just to meet the band. I was like, if I could show them the tattoo as a token of gratitude and let them know, thank you for the art that you've created and it's helped me, that was going to be enough for me. And being the big fan that I am and was at the time, I had an idea of who their videographer was, Sebastian Paquette. And Sebastian was running the check-in booth for the meet and greet prior to the show. So he's checking people in, and I got checked in. I was like, hey man, I think I might have something that you just might enjoy checking out. And I take my sweater off and I show him my tattoo, and he's like, whoa, dude, this thing is insane. And this was during the time where they were doing, so this was 10 years ago. So this was during the time where they were doing their 20th anniversary. They were starting to do promo for their 20th anniversary tour for the next year, when they were doing the self-titled album from front to back on all of their tour stops.
Yeah.
And I have an idea that I'd love to throw. Well, first he's like, can I take photos of this? And I was like, cool. Well, then I ended up finding out, like, later that day, my arm is all over their Instagram page. So that was cool. And then shortly after he's taking photos, he's, hey man, we're working on creating promo / fan testimonial videos. That's the documentary essentially that you both were able to watch, to kind of promote the 20th anniversary tour. And he's, is it cool if I do a piece on you and your arm? And I was like, yeah, dude. And I was like, well, how about we do this? Because the next, or 2 days later, they were playing at Red Rocks Amphitheater in Morriston, Colorado. And that's my favorite, concert venue of all time. And I already had purchased tickets because I wanted to see them play at that venue. I was like, how about we do this, man? Like, I'm going to be in Colorado in 2 days. How about we just shoot it there? And he was like, let's do it. So then obviously the rest was history, where me and my best friend got to get to the venue super early, check out, sound check, all that stuff, and get backstage and meet, Head, Fildy, and Ray backstage and talk with them a little bit. And yeah, then it was documented, and then it's now immortalized on YouTube.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I guess with this, for me, it's always, I've never been a tattoo guy myself. Matt, I know you're top to bottom. And I guess when you make the jump to, I'm assuming that the Korn tattoos were not your first tattoos. You had other tattoos prior?
I had one tattoo. I had one tattoo on my upper back by the same artist. But outside of that, I had no other tattoos on me.
You had no other tattoos.
Yeah, the arm was my next project, so to speak, at that time.
All right. When the thought process is you're going all in on Korn, does this mean basically, I feel like at this point you can't really deviate. You cannot get an Adele tattoo at this point. That's out of the question.
Don't know.
No. Okay, maybe.
A lot of the vast majority of the tattoos I do have on my body are music related in some shape or form. I'm sure Matt had shared with you. My left leg is an abstract kind of portrait, we'll call it, of the bitch of Jonathan Davis's microphone stand. But I still got space for other options. And
you have space for other options. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's cool. Well, Matt, I know you have some questions.
Of course I do. Of course I do. Because I'm so excited. Well, number one, I know that you went and you saw Korn on this tour, the kind of the 30th anniversary of them being the band and releasing the self-titled. And I don't know if you've seen our good friend of the show, Josh Toomey, just wrote something about the first album and how important it was to him.
Oh, cool.
That album definitely seems to be a touchstone on our show, where we create the new metal canon. We've classically not included the whole album into the new metal canon.
Blind is in.
Chutes and Ladders
is in. And we just haven't put space for, Helmet in the Bush. Our apologies.
Clown isn't in. Ball Tongue's not in because, we're maniacs. But Korn as probably the Mount Rushmore of new metal, of who would be on the Mount Rushmore.
Sure.
Korn absolutely is. It's wild to see 30 years later this band that was very much maligned, kind of like who they connected with hard, and they still do. I remember when they first came out and there was a lot of, what is this?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
And even throughout the new metal, when we talk to our fans, they're often just like, I was made fun of in high school, and this was the music that got us through. And I historically have been the guy who said that in high school they were shitty to new metal, not to new metal people, because that's really not that's
not your move.
Not my move, but it is now doing the show for 8 years, hearing the music and hearing how it connects. I have often said, and you've heard me say it, if this helped you get through anything, life is fucking hard enough.
Right.
If this connects with you and it helped you get through, far be it from me to have an opinion that dissuades you from that.
Right.
And I want to know how that kind of resonates with you on your journey. I know that you don't, you can share what you feel appropriate to share on our format, but it's just, what do they mean to you is really the core question.
Yeah. No, I appreciate you bringing that up, Matt. It makes me think of obviously the common space that we met in Gary Vaynerchuk's world, right? He says it's not my job to yuck your yum, right?
Yeah.
And it's that I think that's an important distinction, and it's really wild looking back on it now. Obviously, where I was drawing a much deeper connection with their music was in my 20s. So it was like the early 2010s, right? So like you could say anywhere between 2000, because I was in eighth grade when the first Korn album I ever owned was in eighth grade, and it was Untouchables. So that kind of started it off, and I was purchasing Mudvayne albums, Slipknot albums, the whole kind of new metal gamut, and I was kind of getting a feel for Disturbed. I was getting a feel for kind of what was out there, and with those artists as well, in conjunction with Korn, especially looking back at this now as a 34-year-old man, I really look back on it and have a better understanding of what was really helping me connect on a deeper level to Korn in this particular case, as well as not just the music, but the lyrical content from Jonathan Davis. And for me, in my lived experience, it was a lot of, wow, this is one of the few male figures I had in my life that was creating and was really leading with a level of authenticity and vulnerability when it comes to their own emotional traumas, their pain, their anguish, and just like putting it out there, and it being their own form of kind of like therapy, and just feeling that, that match of the music, the instrumentation in conjunction with that lyrical content was like, at that young of an age, I felt like it was really helping give a name and a voice to a lot of the experiences that I was having in my own way at that young of an age, that I wasn't getting that kind of emotional communicative support from, in this case, like my parents or my father or my friend group at the time. When we're talking, I look at it through a very heavy lens of like mental health and emotional health. And as a man, as a kid, as a boy at that time, and we still deal with this stigma in our society currently, is men aren't applauded for showing emotions and showing feelings and acknowledging that they've been the victim of sexual abuse or physical abuse or emotional abuse. And from my understanding, Jonathan has experienced just about all of that, right?
Yeah.
And for him to channel that in as healthy of a way as he could through his music, it really helped normalize that conversation, at least with myself internally. It was like, oh shit, okay, I'm not the only one going through some fucked up stuff on the home front that's like super confusing, and I'm seeing adult figures in my life not knowing how to communicate it in a healthy way. So like, it was an outlet for me. And then as we've talked about with the fitness side of things, making my way into my early 20s and me getting a sense of just what I wanted to do, not just for work, but what kind of lifestyle I wanted to have, was like, okay, it felt like a very natural merger of, okay, this is the soundtrack to my health practice, right? I'm able to move my body and take care of myself as best as I can while listening to this, essentially this poetry, so to speak, that's helping open me up to my own emotionality and venting these frustrations and anger and hurt, as opposed to just kind of like keeping it in.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely. That does segue to my next question. When you are putting together your workouts and stuff, are you an album guy or are you making a playlist of Korn songs? And if so, what is the number one song for Korn for gains?
It's a good question.
Yeah. Thank you.
Been workshopping it.
Been working it.
Yeah, it's because it's interesting, right? Because I think the short answer is it depends. And the reason I say that is because obviously if you were to ask 20-year-old, 20-something-year-old version of me, it's all fucking heavy hitters, right? It's all the really aggressive, like listening to Right Now, Bottled Up Inside, Here to Stay, all the heavier stuff that's just really it's funny, as you ask that question, it makes me think of the vibe I get when they play their heavy hitters live. It was just like, it makes me think of, oh, this is what mental warfare sounds like. It's just there's fucking bombs going off, right?
Mhm.
So, in my 20s, it was very much just going ham, right? Like
Mhm.
pushing heavyweight, really, really pushing myself hard and having a soundtrack to that. So I think of Right Now, Thoughtless, Here to Stay are the main ones that come to mind for me, as well as, at this stage of my journey, I'm not so, I guess you could say I don't carry as much angst or as much frustration, but I also acknowledged even in that era in my 20s, I enjoyed a lot of the lower tempo songs that really just gave space to a lot of emotionality. Like I think about Alone I Break is one that really stands out to me. Hollow, or is it Hollow or Hollow Life? I can't
Hollow
remember.
Life.
Okay,
Yeah.
Hollow Life. From the See You on the Other Side album, the Tearjerker was really fucking awesome. I also liked Throw Me Away. So, just it it was kind of a whole gamut as far as depending on how I'm feeling. It's, do I need something that's super, not, I don't want to say like upbeat, but I say upbeat in the sense of like the tempo and the cadence of things, or do I want something that's a little slower and a little bit more melodic, that's, I guess you could say, little bit more emotional. So
Mhm.
it's kind of been all over the place for me.
All right. Perfect.
Fieldy's dreams. Where do you stand on Fieldy's dreams?
Remind me, is that his book or is that
No.
his album?
That was his album.
That was his album.
So I never purchased that album. So y'all
Thank you.
probably know more than I do.
I think you did yourself a favor on
Yeah.
that one.
Okay.
It is
Yeah.
not the greatest.
We did do a deep dive in that one, and we also read his book at the same time, and that was a real double barrel of pain situation for us. We did learn a lot, maybe too much. I think he's a little too forthcoming, I think, with that book. But the main thing is that, yeah, he definitely should not have made that album. That's
I
the
remember
main gist we got about
I
it.
remember that being kind of the joint consensus of most kind of just general Korn fans, that it didn't really land for a lot of people.
So Korn's your number one, obviously. So then let's say you get a whole extra leg to tattoo. Who's the next new metal band?
A whole extra leg?
Whole extra leg. You get a whole extra
bonus leg.
Bonus leg.
Well,
Yes.
it's okay. So you're helping jog my memory here, because it also goes back to you asking about what other songs that I would listen to in my 20s or even now for gains, right? Because my 20s were a really interesting time where I was in college at the time, and I was starting to become exposed to electronic music, mainly dubstep. So there's a few, like the Path of Totality, I actually really enjoyed, because I was being exposed to artists like Skrillex, Excision, Datsik, 12 Plant, like all those artists that were featured on that album were artists that were really, really big in the electronic bass music scene, especially during my time in college. So like songs like Get Up and Narcissistic Cannibal are the two that really stood out to me that I love, that I would include in that playlist as opposed to just doing a single album. But if we're talking new metal related, the only other band, the other bands that I really was gravitating towards during that time were easily Mudvayne and Slipknot. Those were the two bands and acts that they had their own unique sound, and they had their own unique way of expressing themselves. That was just, and I also like they had a level of theatrics that, maybe Korn didn't have, right? You had Mudvayne with like the face paint, and their guitarist with, I think he had fucking bugles on his face.
Yes.
Yeah, little spikes. Little spikes. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then you have Slipknot, where you have 9 members in their band, and they're all masked, and they're all playing these different instruments. So there's this theatrical element. So I would say it would have been either one of those two bands.
Good choices. Good choices. Good choices.
We can't help but notice the sweatshirt. We see the merch.
Sure.
That means we know that you went to the recent Korn show. How was your experience? We went in Michigan. We full on did a whole episode on it. How was your experience, and how was this merch experience? Because that was our favorite piece of merch that you got. The Korn, because I liked that it was all separate patches,
separate embroidered. Yeah.
Yeah. So as far as the merch is concerned, awesome. It's from my understanding, it's a 30-year exclusive. It's got a 30-year patch on it, so it's very unique to that length of time that they've been doing their thing. As far as the show is concerned, the show ripped, man. Like I was really happy with it. You know, in my time in going to Korn shows, and just this, I think this is indicative of just being a really big fan of theirs and listening to their entire catalog in previous, eras of their touring, understandably so. I think this is common for most artists. They would just play the hits, right? They would play the songs that most people know, and that would comprise the vast majority of their set list, which is still great from a listening standpoint. But I'm like, fuck, dude, they have so many other songs that just smash that they don't play very often at all. So this year's tour in particular was really refreshing, because it's okay, they're really leaning into the fact that this is 30 years. We're going to play as wide and diverse of an array of a set as possible. So I think I had only heard, like, they played Oildale whenever they were in Albuquerque. And that's one of I really enjoyed that song in particular. It just has a good vibe to it. I think I had only heard it maybe like once outside of that particular set. They played Ball Tongue, which was fucking awesome. Yeah, I was really pleased with it from a listening standpoint of, okay, if you're going to hop in and just get a sense of, okay, a 30-year anniversary set list, I think they did a phenomenal job of song choice, and their energy was still there, which I always have gleaned from every single show. They do everything they can to just leave it all out on the stage.
Yeah.
They were tight too.
They were tight.
They were so good.
Yeah, and the energy level, as I said in the episode when we did our recap, showmen. They were putting on a show. They were making sure we were getting our money's worth, which I very much appreciated.
Right.
I wanted to make a transition into the work that you do, because we've kind of come from Korn. You said that you connected to it in your 20s doing the gym thing, but how has that branched into what you're now doing? Because I know that you do training, but you do online training, and it's like, I know that you started to talk about it, but take the next step of like where you came from into what you're doing now, and what exactly is it that we're doing now?
Sure.
For anybody who might be interested.
Yeah, no sweat. So yeah, this all kind of falls within the same era, right? Which ties into why I enjoyed Korn's music so much, because it was an assertion of identity, right? I think of one of Jonathan's lyrics. I can't remember the song off the top of my head, but he says, "Be yourself, let you come through," right? Like be yourself, lean into who you are, and trust who you are. So at the age of 19, I'm starting you could say I'm starting my career, right? I'm going to school here at the University of New Mexico, and I'm pursuing my degree in exercise science. And like most individuals, unfortunately, I come from a family who has not prioritized their health at all. So I'm kind of the black sheep in that regard at a very young age. And I'm learning a lot about how to live a healthy life. I'm dedicating my school career to this. And I remember sharing with a family member at the time, I'm 19 at the time, just what I'm learning, and I'm super excited about it. And then once I get done sharing that with this family member, they pretty much end by saying, "That's all great, but eventually you have this to look forward to." And they pat their stomach saying, "It doesn't matter what you do or how hard you try. You're going to be overweight. You're going to be unhealthy, like the vast majority of the male figures in my family." Mm-hmm. So it was a really wild time, because as a 19-year-old boy full of piss and vinegar, I was just internally, I was like, fuck you, watch me, right? Like I'm gonna make this work no matter what, which ties to the soundtrack that you keep with you to kind of serve as the background music to that. So yeah, from the age of 19 until present day, the age of 34, I've been dedicating my time towards fitness and nutrition. So from that point on, from 19 years old, I got a job at a local big box fitness facility training people in person. And I did that for about 8 years, but pretty early on at that time, I knew that there was something missing, a level of depth when it came to coaching people, because the fitness industry does a really good job of marketing themselves as like the solution. And all you have to do is work with a coach for maybe an hour to 2 hours a week and you'll get to your goals, right? When I was working with clients doing that and they weren't getting to their goals. So that told me it's the 23 hours of the day that people aren't in the gym that it really comprises the progress that they're going to be making. So I started building infrastructure online. At the time, it was through text message, email, and phone call support to really help support clients during the 23 hours of the day that they weren't in the gym. And then obviously as time went on, that evolved. It grew into the online coaching platform that my wife and I both now co-own and run to help serve our clients.
That's awesome.
That's great.
And what's the name of it? Because I want to make sure we say that.
Aware Fitness Coaching.
All right. There we go. I love it.
I will say this. Patrick and I have connected a few times prior to this conversation. And I will say that your heart and how you lead with your care for the other person is commendable. And
Well, thank you.
Even though that we may not be connecting on that fitness journey together 100%, just that you cared enough to ask me about how I was doing and how I was feeling really meant a lot to me. So I just appreciated that one to recognize you in that.
Anytime, man. Happy to do it.
I mean, and I'm just gonna say, Matt, you look great.
Thanks, man.
You're welcome.
All I had to do is get a case of jock itch that sent me to the doctor, and then my life changed. So we're doing great.
All right. Write that one down too, everybody.
That's my memoir.
Oh, perfect. Long title, but you know what? Do what you feel.
Good working title.
Awesome. Patrick, well, thank you so much for taking this time to talk to us about this, about your Korn journey, about everything you've got going on. Before we let you go, here on the Roach Koach podcast, we're all new metal all the time. We've been talking Korn, but we got to know, and we know you said, Mudvayne, Slipknot. Where do you stand on the LB?
The Limp Bizkit.
It's interesting. I enjoyed their music.
Mm-hmm.
I like they had a feel, they had a vibe to them, they had an energy, they had an edge that I enjoyed, but I never got like fully immersed in their world. So I see that they're touring again. I see that they're putting themselves out there. I give them a thumbs up.
There it is. All we're saying is set up a rack, hit play on full Nelson, and just watch them gains run it.
Absolutely.
It's like Wes Borland was someone who stood out to me. Whereas, dude, you have this one guy in your band where that was that kind of overlap with the theatrics of and the makeup of Mudvayne. And there's something really unique going on here, but I never got fully immersed in their world. But overall, I give them a thumbs up.
All right.
Perfect.
Love it. Patrick, thank you so much. So much.
No problem. Thank you, guys.
Matt, what a wonderful conversation with Patrick.
That dude's the best.
Wonderful, great. Yeah, thank you so much, Patrick, for talking with us. That was awesome. Matt, there's only one way to close out an episode of Roach Koach.
That's right.
And that is with Stupid Effin' Matt's new core for old heads.
Rotten to the core.
Okay.
That's all right.
That's all right.
That means the list is rotten.
Well, Matt, when you did that one, were you doing that as you, or are you doing that as a character? Were you doing that? Was that a person who maybe, hear me out here, spent $1,800 on the platinum, and they're sitting in this...
yes, their Dorian Gray photo.
Yes, they're sitting in there. They're surrounded by all this opulence, but they think inside, they're like, I got preferred views of the hives, but I still feel empty.
That's right. Do you have one?
Let me see.
It's Stupid Effin' Matt's new core for old heads.
This is stupid.
Love it.
Thank you. I was kind of channeling the lady from the I'm with Stupid, Static X.
Oh,
yeah.
I kind of felt like you're somebody who paid $1,800 for platinum, not realizing all the bands that were going to be there. So then, Because you are a real piece of shit.
You know what, Matt? When you say that, it reminds me of the people who buy Coachella tickets before they announce the lineup.
Yep.
And then you suddenly find yourself, in the middle of the desert listening to, basically music that would play in an elevator.
Yep.
Because that's who plays Coachella now. I don't know if you know that. It's
Real snooze.
Real snooze fest. So anyway.
You know what's not a snooze?
What, Matt?
The band Graphic Nature.
Oh, is that what we got this week?
Put out one of my favorites last year.
Okay.
And Matt put out Killing Floor. If you've not heard Graphic Nature before, get yourself ready. Where's your brain, buddy? Where's your brain?
Matt, that's a bona fide ripper, baby.
Ripper.
That is a ripper. If we had a ripper stamp that we could just on something, I'd put it right on that thing. Screams. At one point, doesn't he just say, "You're dead"? What more do you need?
What more do you need?
And I got to say, if your name is Graphic Nature and then you put a song out called Killing Floor, it better sound like that. It better sound like, it would be optimally played in a slaughterhouse. You know what I mean?
It definitely feels like it's got that vibe. It's got that Doom vibe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's great. It's great.
Fantastic stuff. I want to hear more. I really enjoyed that. It's got some scratches in there. I will say, for something that aggressive, it still has a bit of openness. Like, I can get in there. I'm not afraid. I'm not afraid to hear more.
Unlike Curb Stomp, where you were like,
listen, I'm still recovering from that.
Heavy hitter.
They no truth
The
in
heaviest.
The heaviest. Truth in advertising there. Killing Floor, Graphic Nature, very good. Matt, well done. Good list.
Good list.
Good list. And believe it or not, Matt, that brings us to the end of another episode of Roach Koach.
I love it.
Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching on YouTube. Keep on saying hello to us online. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. We're on all those. Send us an email, roachcoachpodcast@gmail.com. Head over to the Patreon, patreon.com/roachcoachpodcast. Become a patron. The pact is ongoing. It's going great. Super fun. Head on over to roachcoach.com. Get yourself sweet tea.
Sweet tea.
Orders being taken right now, being fulfilled right now.
That's correct.
And so much more.
Oh, and if you join the Patreon, you get 20% off merch.
There you go. Coops. Who doesn't love some coops?
Another benefit of joining the Patreon.
There you have it. And until next time, Matt, thank you.
Lauren, thank you.
Roach Koach
Podcast.
hot all day. Every the Roach Koach
Podcast.
all day,